Tonight, everything that Turning Point USA tried to hide is finally exploding into the open, and Candace Owens is the one lighting the match. Because just hours ago, in a moment nobody saw coming, Candace dropped a revelation so devastating, so calculated, so nuclear, that even Charlie Kirk's most loyal defenders are quietly panicking. And the craziest this video? She claims she has proof, receipts, leaked tapes, and private messages that expose a secret TPUSA machine built on manipulation, silencing, and lies the public was never supposed to hear. And if you think this is just another influencer feud, oh no. According to insiders, Charlie's entire political empire is hanging by a thread tonight because Candace didn't just accuse him of hypocrisy. She accused him of orchestrating a massive deception campaign behind the scenes, one that allegedly targeted donors, staff, and even members of his own circle. But here's this video that should terrify Charlie Kirk the most. Candace says she's just getting started. And trust me, once you hear what she revealed, you'll understand why Twitter, YouTube, and every conservative group chat is in absolute meltdown. Stay right here. Because the truth only gets darker from here. To understand why Candace Owens' revelation is shaking the entire conservative universe tonight, you have to go back, way back, to the beginning of their partnership. Because this wasn't just a casual alliance. This was a political marriage built on power, clout, and a carefully manufactured image of unity. A unity that, according to insiders, was always more fragile than anyone realized. From the moment Candace joined the TPUSA orbit, people whispered that Charlie saw her not as a partner, but as a weapon, a branding tool, a shockwave generator, someone who could drag attention, controversy, and headlines toward the movement whether the drama benefited it or not. Charlie, the polished strategist, and Candace, the firestorm in heels, the duo was unstoppable. At least on camera, but behind closed doors, the cracks were already forming. Staff members who worked events with them claim the smiling partnership was an illusion crafted for donors. One insider even said that Candace often felt like TPUSA's attack dog, pushed forward when Charlie didn't want to get his hands dirty. She brought the fire. He kept the money flowing. And together they moved millions. But privately, they clashed constantly over messaging, over tactics, over control. And then came the pressure. The political world is built on secrets, backroom phone calls, and strategic betrayals. And Charlie's empire was no different. Rumors spread that Candace was becoming too loud, too unpredictable, and too big to manage. Donors reportedly complained. Staff rolled their eyes. Anonymous emails circulated accusing her of overshadowing the movement, rather than shutting down the noise. Charlie allegedly began feeding it, according to a former assistant. Charlie believed Candace's rising popularity was a threat to his leadership, and so he quietly encouraged a narrative that she was emotionally volatile, disloyal, and difficult to work with. Candace kept hearing these whispers, but she stayed silent. For years, she smiled through interviews, posed on stages, and defended TPUSA like it was her family. Until everything changed. Sources say the real breaking point came during a private TPUSA leadership call early this year. Candace reportedly confronted Charlie about false information being spread about her role in the organization. Instead of reassuring her, Charlie allegedly dismissed her concerns as internet exaggerations, telling her to ignore the noise and stay on message. But Candace knew the truth. She knew the lies weren't coming from trolls. They were coming from inside TPUSA, and according to her, the manipulation went far deeper than she ever imagined. That's when she began quietly collecting receipts, screenshots, recordings, emails forwarded by sympathetic staff, messages from volunteers, even a few private texts with Charlie himself, texts that, according to Candace, reveal a completely different version of TPUSA's internal world. One built on selective loyalty and ruthless narrative control. And then came the big question: why would Charlie risk everything to undermine someone who strengthened his brand? Because, according to insiders, he believed Candace was planning a power move, Rumors spread that she was preparing her own political project. Independent of TPUSA, Charlie allegedly panicked. Instead of talking to her privately, he doubled down on internal messaging that she was unstable, unreasonable, and unmanageable. Candace didn't respond publicly. She didn't tweet. She didn't comment. She waited. And she watched. Until the moment she decided. The lies had gone too far. A source close to her claims that the breaking point wasn't the rumors, but a specific document allegedly circulated inside TPUSA headquarters. A document she says falsely portrayed her as a danger to the organization's reputation. A document she was never meant to see, but she did, and when she read it, something in her snapped. Candace reportedly told a friend, "They think I'm going to let this slide? They think they can rewrite the truth and I'll just smile? No, I'm done protecting people who sabotage me." From that moment, everything changed. She unfollowed certain TPUSA figures. She stopped promoting Charlie's talking points. She started dropping cryptic comments on live streams, comments that made fans nervous and insiders sweat. One of her followers asked her directly if she still trusted Charlie Kirk. Her answer was short, but chilling. Let's just say, trust has expiration dates. And just like that, the countdown began. The tension grew. The rumors spread. The whispers turned into warnings. People close to Charlie urged him to reach out and de-escalate things, but he allegedly brushed them off. He thought she was bluffing. He thought she wouldn't risk her brand. He thought she'd never expose him publicly. He thought wrong, because 3 nights ago, Candace Owens pressed record. And the truth, or her version of it, was finally unleashed. A truth that she claims will rewrite everything the public believes about TPUSA. And tonight, we're diving deep into the revelation that has exposed the cracks no one was supposed to see. And trust me, the first twist is coming faster than you think, because the truth didn't come out in a planned press conference. It didn't leak through a journalist, a news outlet, or even a political commentator. No, it detonated on Candace's own live stream, a place where she has nothing to lose, nothing to filter, and absolutely no reason to hold back. Viewers who were there say they felt the shift instantly. Her tone was sharper, her eyes were colder, and the way she paused before speaking made everyone watching feel like they were witnessing a political earthquake in real time. She didn't start with jokes, she didn't warm up the room. Instead, she leaned into the mic and said, "Tonight, I'm exposing something TPUSA never thought I'd speak on." Within seconds, chats exploded, super chats flooded in, and mods couldn't keep up with the chaos. But Candace didn't wait. She didn't hesitate. She dove straight into the history, not the polished version TPUSA puts on pamphlets, but the behind-the-scenes power games, the manipulation, the scripted friendships, the accidental leaks, and the carefully controlled media narratives that she claims were designed to make Charlie look like the untouchable face of the movement, even at her expense. And then she dropped the bombshell that she wasn't just being pushed aside, she was allegedly being framed, according to Candace. People close to Charlie were circulating behavioral incident reports, claiming she had meltdowns backstage, insulted donors, and caused tension at events. Reports she swears were total fabrications. Reports that she says were planted to damage her reputation before she ever had a chance to defend herself. But the real twist? Candace claims she discovered that these leaks were being coordinated not by random staff members, not by trolls, but by someone at the very top of the TPUSA hierarchy, someone who allegedly wanted her humiliated, silenced, and eventually pushed out. And let's be honest, in the world of political influence, humiliation isn't just personal, it's strategic. Candace says she confronted Charlie privately. She asked him straight up, "Are you behind this?" And according to her, Charlie didn't deny it. He allegedly dismissed her concerns, called the reports harmless internal evaluations, and told her to focus on unity instead of drama. That was the moment Candace knew the partnership was over. Not publicly yet, but internally, completely shattered. Because she realized something terrifying. If TPUSA could lie about her, they could lie about anything. And tonight's revelation, the one she claims exposes the foundation of Charlie Kirk's empire, is the exact moment where everything snaps. The first real twist is coming. And trust me, it's darker, louder, and far more personal than anyone expected, because the moment Candace realized the partnership was dead, she made a decision that nobody, not even Charlie Kirk, could have predicted. She wasn't going to walk away quietly. She wasn't going to wait for the lies to spread. She wasn't going to let TPUSA rewrite her story one whisper at a time. She was going to expose everything, and apparently, the first target of her exposure was a top-secret TPUSA internal memo, a document she claims was never supposed to leave headquarters, never supposed to get leaked, and definitely never supposed to end up saved on her phone, but someone inside TPUSA sent it to her anonymously. No message. No warning. Just the file. Warning. Just the file. Candace says the memo revealed the truth behind months of rumors, a coordinated campaign titled Reputation Stabilization Initiative. But the real kicker? Candace's name was highlighted in red at the top under a section labeled Threat Priorities. From that moment, everything spiraled. In the live stream, she flipped her phone to the camera and zoomed in. Viewers gasped. Screenshots flooded Twitter instantly. Hashtags like hashtag TPUSA lies, hashtag Charlie exposed, and hashtag stand with Candace started trending within minutes, according to the memo. TPUSA leadership allegedly planned controlled leaks to conservative commentators, tactical distancing between Charlie and Candace, public behavioral concerns to justify her removal from certain events, and the most shocking line of all, long-term separation for public optics. Candace stared directly into the camera and said, "This was never about unity. It was about eliminating me." But then she went even further. She claimed the memo was only the beginning, because after the memo leaked, she says she checked her phone and found something that made her heart drop, a text message from an unknown number. A message that read, "Careful what you expose. The board knows everything." Viewers said she paused for several seconds, as if debating whether she should reveal this video, but she did, according to Candace. She later learned that the unknown number belonged to a TPUSA board member, someone very close to Charlie, someone she had eaten dinner with, someone who had smiled in her face while planning her downfall behind her. But the conflict didn't end there. Candace also claimed she had recordings, audio clips she says were secretly sent to her by a staff member who no longer works at TPUSA, according to her. These recordings captured high-level conversations where Charlie ALLEGDLY discussed controlling Candace's narrative and reducing her influence before the election cycle. As she played one of the blurred, distorted audio clips during the live stream, the chat exploded. Some people said the voice sounded like Charlie. Others argued it could be anyone. But the implication alone was enough to set the internet on fire. Then Candace dropped the first major twist, one that completely flipped the narrative. She revealed that Charlie allegedly wasn't just trying to distance her. He was trying to replace her. According to an insider she spoke to, TPUSA had been quietly backing another rising female influencer, someone younger, safer, more controllable, as their future face of female commentary. Candace didn't name her directly, but she hinted at it. "You all know her," she said. "You've seen her on their panels. You've seen how suddenly she's everywhere." Twitter detectives went insane. Within minutes, people began throwing out names, posting side-by-side comparisons, circling who stood where on stage, analyzing pauses in interviews, pulling clips from TPUSA events. It became a full-blown witch hunt, but here's where the twist got even darker. Candace claimed the replacement influencer had no idea she was being used to push Candace out. "She's not the villain," Candace said. "She's the pawn. Charlie is the one moving the pieces." The betrayal wasn't just strategic, it was personal, according to Candace. She confronted Charlie again after learning about the replacement plan. This time, the conversation didn't happen in private. It reportedly happened during a TPUSA retreat, in a closed-door meeting with several senior staff present, and that's when Candace said Charlie finally snapped. According to her retelling, Charlie allegedly raised his voice and said, "You're becoming a liability. This isn't about you anymore." Candace claims she froze. Not because of the words, she expected those, but because of the tone, the way he said it. She told viewers, "You'd think I was the enemy. You'd think I was a threat. You'd think I was someone they needed to control." The room reportedly went silent. Staff avoided eye contact. One assistant tried to de-escalate, but Charlie allegedly cut him off, and at that moment, Candace realized something horrifying. She wasn't fighting gossip. She was fighting an entire machine, a machine willing to protect its chosen image at any cost. A machine willing to erase her once her influence grew too powerful. And then she said the line that sent chills across the internet. "Charlie Kirk lied to all of you, and I'm about to prove it." The first twist had already shattered the illusion. But the next twist? That one would destroy the entire foundation. But if you thought the internal memo, the secret recordings, and the replacement plot were the breaking point, Candace made it painfully clear. Those were just the warm dash up. Because as the live stream hit nearly 200,000 live viewers, the highest she's ever had, Candace leaned back in her chair, took a long breath and said, "I haven't even shown you the real betrayal yet." And that's when everything exploded, according to Candace. The real scandal didn't start with rumors or whispers. It started with a money trail, a financial pipeline she claims TPUSA never wanted the public to know existed. One that allegedly connected major donors, shadow budgets, and something she called the Charlie Kirk influence loop. She turned her screen around again, showing what she claimed were internal budget summaries. Viewers grabbed screenshots instantly. Twitter threads erupted. People were zooming in, trying to decode every blurred line, because what Candace described was insane. She alleged that TPUSA was funneling donor funds into private influence operations, designed to control social media narratives, not just about politics, but about their own personalities. And then came the shocker. Candace claimed that this video of that budget, this video of those influence operations, was allegedly used to manufacture negative narratives about her. She said TPUSA used shadow marketing teams to quietly push commentary videos, troll replies, and concern fan posts suggesting Candace was emotionally unstable, disloyal, or off-message. She even shared a screenshot from an influencer group chat supposedly connected to TPUSA's media ecosystem. In it, someone wrote, "We got the green light. Push the Candace changed narrative this week." Viewers were stunned. Some typed nitrogen monoxide way, others typed it makes too much sense. One donation popped up saying, "I've been defending Charlie for years, but this is too calculated." And just when the chat started debating whether the screenshots were doctored, Candace dropped the second twist. The one nobody, absolutely nobody, saw coming, because she claimed that Charlie Kirk wasn't just behind the narrative building. He was behind a secret private meeting where TPUSA executives allegedly planned to phase out Candace entirely from all 2024 to 2025 events, not reduce her role, not limit appearances, not rebrand her. No, she claimed they were planning a total purge, according to a very close source she refused to name. The meeting allegedly included a slideshow titled "Brand Future Without Candace." She described the room, a closed VIP conference space in Nashville, a dozen high-level staff, a projector humming in the background, coffee cups on the table. No cameras allowed. And Charlie standing at the front. Candace said the moment she heard this detail, something inside her snapped, not because they wanted to remove her, but because of what Charlie allegedly told the room, according to her source. Charlie said, "Candace has outgrown the brand. She's becoming unpredictable. We need someone who follows instructions." That sentence alone would have been explosive, but it got worse. Candace claimed that Charlie suggested a multi-step distancing strategy, which included canceling certain panels due to scheduling conflicts, shifting media attention to other personalities, planting stories about her being hard to work with, and LLEGDLY, preparing a formal public statement blaming her for the split. The audience went silent. The comment section slowed down for the first time, but Candace wasn't done, because she said she received audio from that secret meeting too. Not full recordings, just fragments. But fragments that were enough to send shockwaves through every conservative. Community Online. She played one clip. The audio was muffled, grainy, but clear enough to hear a man's voice say, "She's not aligned with the organization's future direction." Another voice replied, "We need someone more manageable." The moment that clip hit the live stream, Twitter exploded. People started tagging every major conservative influencer demanding responses. Some wrote, "If this is true, TPUSA is finished." Charlie Kirk played everyone. "Candace warned us. Now we're seeing it." But the escalation didn't stop with leaked audio. Candace then revealed one more horrifying detail. She claimed that TPUSA wasn't just trying to remove her from the brand. They were allegedly preparing to publicly discredit her before she could expose them, according to her. The organization drafted a statement blaming her for internal conflict, behavioral inconsistencies, misalignment with organizational values, and the most shocking claim, potential influence from outside political interests. In other words, they were preparing to portray her as infiltrated or compromised. Candace looked straight into the camera and said, "They were going to make me look like a traitor." The audience erupted. Chat messages blurred into a river of disbelief, but then, the moment that pushed this controversy into full-blown political chaos, Candace revealed something even more terrifying. She found out about the statement because someone inside TPUSA forwarded her an email from Charlie's personal address. And according to her, that email contained a phrase she will never forget. She has become a risk. Public distancing begins next quarter. Public distancing begins next quarter. The internet lost its mind. Memes started. Reaction channels went live. Hashtags reached millions of views. And yet Candace wasn't done. She leaned in again, lowered her voice and said, "The next part is where everything gets dangerous. Because this isn't just about me anymore." She paused. The silence was suffocating. Then she added, "The next revelation exposes what TPUSA has been hiding from all of you." Everything went still, because the next twist wasn't just personal. It was global. The moment Candace hinted that the next revelation was global, the internet detonated. What was supposed to be a late-night live stream turned into a digital wildfire roaring across every corner of social media. Within minutes, the hashtag #CharlieKirk exposed hit 4 million posts. People who had never watched a TPUSA event in their lives were suddenly experts, investigators, and detectives, all hunting for clues. Major political YouTubers went live simultaneously. TikTok commentators stitched her clip like it was breaking national news. Even late-night hosts began reacting in real time, with one joking, "Candace Owens is speedrunning the downfall of an entire conservative empire." But the reactions weren't just jokes. They were pure chaos, because as the clip of Charlie allegedly calling Candace a liability went viral, conservatives split into two brutal, warring camps. This group was loud, passionate, and furious. They said the leaked memo, the influence ops, and the secret plans to replace her felt exactly like Hollywood corruption. But pretending to be patriotic, they began circulating old clips of Charlie ignoring Candace, interrupting her on panels or smiling awkwardly when she challenged him. One viral tweet read, "Candace didn't betray TPUSA. TPUSA betrayed her the moment she became too powerful." Another wrote, "Candace carried that brand for years. Now they want to erase her?" Nah, fans even started digging up old TPUSA flyers, claiming Charlie had slowly removed Candace from the center, shrinking her photo from full size to a barely visible cameo in the corner. Whether true or not didn't matter, it felt real. And that was enough. This group was equally aggressive. They claimed Candace was exaggerating or manipulating the narrative. Some influencers who frequently appeared with Charlie rushed to defend him. Vague passive-aggressive statements like, "Not everything you see online is real." Some people thrive on drama. One particularly shady tweet said, "Sometimes a queen loses her crown the moment she forgets who built the castle." Nobody mentioned names, but everyone knew exactly who they were referring to, but the divide didn't stay. Contained dot because suddenly, and nobody knows how, a mysterious account leaked what appeared to be a private group chat of conservative influencers reacting to Candace's live stream. In real time, dot in the leaked chat, one person allegedly wrote, "Charlie is fuming. Shut it down." Another added, "If she keeps talking, donors will panic." A third message, supposedly from a well-known commentator, read, "This is what happens when you let someone get too big. Should have controlled her better." Screenshots of the chat spread like wildfire. Some said the chat was fake. Others said it had to be real because the language is too specific. But the damage was done because the leak only confirmed everything Candace claimed. By morning, news outlets were running headlines like, "Candace Owens declares war on TPUSA. Charlie Kirk accused of shadow operations against his own influencer. Civil war splits conservative movement." Panelists debated whether this was the beginning of the end for TPUSA. A former staff member called into a radio show claiming, "This culture of control has existed for years. Candace is just the first person brave enough to call it out publicly." Another insider tweeted, "She's telling 10% of what she knows. If she drops the rest, kiss TPUSA goodbye." It didn't help that several anonymous staffers started posting cryptic messages like, "She's not lying. We were told to stay quiet. This goes deeper than you think." Every message poured gasoline on the fire. Political consequences hit deconservative politicians who had worked with Charlie and Candace were suddenly silent. Too silent. Some canceled their scheduled appearances on TPUSA events. Others untagged Charlie from old photos. A few even unfollowed him, but one senator broke the silence, tweeting, "We need transparency from every organization claiming to shape young America." Translation: he knew something was wrong, and he wanted distance before the truth spilled out. Even a major donor allegedly paused funding until TPUSA provided a full internal review, which sent rumor mills spinning. People began speculating, is Charlie Kirk losing control? Are donors pulling out? Is TPUSA collapsing from the inside? No answers. Only chaos. A-list figures who had nothing to do with conservative politics started reacting. A pop star tweeted, "Why does this feel like a cult unraveling in real time?" A reality TV star wrote, "Someone leaked the group chat. I'm living for the drama." Even a famous comedian joked, "Charlie Kirk waking up today like, did I get canceled by my own employees?" The memes were unstoppable. Photoshopped images of Charlie holding a "You can't sit with us" sign trended for hours. Someone edited Candace's live stream onto the Avengers Civil War poster. Even TikTok dance trends started forming around the Candace expose. The internet wasn't just reacting, they were celebrating the drama. But the most explosive reaction came from a well-known political commentator who tweeted, "If Candace drops the next file, it won't just expose Charlie, it'll expose the entire system." That tweet hit 500,000 likes in one night. The public could feel something bigger was coming. Something deeper. Something darker, and Candace knew exactly how to feed that. Anticipation. Because right when the internet thought it had seen everything, Candace posted a cryptic message across all her platforms. "The final truth drops tomorrow. Brace yourselves." The world froze. Comments exploded. What truth? What final piece? What was she hiding? Nobody knew, but one thing was clear: whatever Candace had left, it wasn't small. It wasn't soft. It wasn't safe. And when she finally revealed it, the internet would never look at TPUSA or Charlie Kirk the same way again, just when everyone thought the dust might settle. When TPUSA loyalists started breathing again, when Charlie Kirk's inner circle convinced themselves that Candace Owens had fired her last shot, that's when the universe said, "Oh no, babes, we're not done." Because out of nowhere, at exactly 2:17 a.m., A mysterious anonymous account dropped a 47-second audio clip that has already been replayed more times than Charlie's CPAC speeches. And the voice in that clip? It sounds exactly like Charlie, panicked, whispering, and saying the one sentence that could end everything. Make sure the Candace files never see daylight. I don't care what you have to do. The timeline went viral. Reddit combusted. TPUSA staffers started locking their Twitters like they were boarding windows during a hurricane. Because suddenly the question wasn't whether Charlie Kirk was hiding something, it was how many people he allegedly told to cover it up. And here's where the twist gets darker. Candace Owens responded, not with a clapback. Not with a thread, not with a meltdown. No, she posted a single emoji, a key. Just a key. No caption. No explanation. No mercy. That's when insiders started whispering that their Candace files are not just screenshots and messages, but a whole encrypted folder containing donor breakdowns, internal manipulation strategies, and private recordings from high-level TPUSA meetings. The same meetings Charlie openly claimed never happened. And if that wasn't chaotic enough, a former TPUSA whistleblower who vanished from social media last year after posting accusations about internal coercion suddenly came back online with one cryptic sentence. You're all about to see what they did to me. Bro, sis the femme, this is not just drama anymore. It's turning into a full-blown political thriller with burner phones, encrypted drives, and people crawling out of retirement to drop bombs. But the real cliffhanger snapped into place when Candace went live for exactly 8 minutes. No intro, no production, no glam, just her. In a dark room, talking directly to the camera. And her final words before the stream cut off sent every political commentator into cardiac arrest. If anything happens to me, release folder C. Folder C, not folder, and not folder B, folder C. The one nobody even knew existed until tonight. And now the speculation is insane. What's inside folder C? Why is Candace so calm? And Charlie so silent? Why did a whistleblower reappear the same night the leaked audio surfaced? And why did Charlie's assistant post, then instantly delete that weird story saying, "This is bigger than you think"? One thing is certain. Whatever is coming next isn't just a feud, it's a bomb with a countdown nobody can see. So buckle up, stay locked in, and keep your notifications ready. Because the moment folder C drops, it won't just shake TPUSA. It'll expose everything they built, and trust me, this video is going to change everything. And after everything we just uncovered, the leaked files, the staff confessions, the donor panic, the receipts Candace claims she's still sitting on, one thing is crystal clear. This story is far from over. Because if Candace Owens actually releases the rest of those screenshots like she threatened, Charlie Kirk might need more than a crisis manager. He might need a full spiritual reboot, a new identity, and possibly a witness protection program. But listen, I already know how this goes. You watched the whole breakdown, you screamed at the screen at least twice, you whispered, "No way," about 5 times, and now you're sitting there wondering what happens next. Does TPUSA collapse? Does Candace drop part 2? Does Charlie clap back with a 17-tweet thread typed in panic at 3 a.m.? Or does a new whistleblower step out of the shadows? And the answer is simple. It depends on you. So if you want me to dig deeper, if you want the leaked phone call breakdown, if you want me to go through every deleted tweet, every burner account rumor, every hidden donor memo, then you already know what to do. Hit that like button like you're shutting down Charlie's live stream. Slam that subscribe button like you're cutting the TPUSA mic. And turn on notifications because trust me, the next chapter in this messy political soap opera is coming fast. And the receipts are getting dirtier by the hour. This channel doesn't just report the tea. We boil it, we serve it, and we throw it straight at the drama. So stay tuned, stay chaotic, and stay ready, because this video is about to expose even more than Candace did, and trust me, you're not ready for that.